There's always going to be doubters, and we have to go out and prove everybody wrong.
We could put our backs to the wall and go out there and fight because no one respects us at all. And a lot of times you can sneak up on people like that. A lot of times when you have nothing to lose, you play with a little bit more emotion and more feeling. And, you know, in a young team, that really helps out a lot if you can get that emotional edge.
And these underdogs came back when they counted the most in the fourth quarter.
Touchdown, San Diego! They burned him on a blitz play! Neil O'Donnell on a fourth down play to save the season to throw. Fires down! It was played down at the goal line by San Diego! San Diego's going to win this game! San Diego's going to do the job!
I think we have won games because we have been good, too. It hasn't been just in the emotional things to our football team. We have good players who are making big plays.
The Chargers have the hunger, and one man has given them the heart to become champions.
I think Coach Ross is respect and pride is probably the two most prominent things he likes to preach, and I think that's something that everybody feels to Coach Ross, a guy that's upfront, honest with you, tells you what he believes, what he thinks. It might not be what you want to hear, but at least it's honest and it's to your face.
Man, we got one thing that we're coming for.
I want to be able to treat people the way I want to be treated. And I want people to be upfront with me and direct and fair and honest. Secondly, I really think it's important, and it's probably a little more difficult at the pro level, but I do believe that the football team is still a family. I believe that very strongly. But beyond that, I think that there's an ingredient to our football team that you can't measure, and that's in the heart of the individual.
The Chargers take the field today as a family, playing for a city, playing for respect, and playing for the ultimate symbol, a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, Lynn Swann began covering the Chargers back when they beat Miami with that great second half. He's very impressed with the way Bobby Ross has prepared this team, and of course, playing for him at Maryland. Well, Boomer, nobody knows Bobby any better than you do.
Intense football coach. He's a man of his word. His players love him, and when they look at him and they see what comes from him, they respond to it. He's a man who is honest. He's a man who expects his players to play on the field, to play tough, and he holds them accountable. And sometimes he'll tell them things that they don't want to hear, but they do respond, Brent.
You know, Boomer, out in San Diego, the crowd, as you can imagine, is going wild. The city purchased 50,000 tickets, and the youngsters in that city have poured into Jack Murphy Stadium. They're going to watch this game live on huge screen television out there. And as for the man who owns this team, Alex Spanos, well, he'll dance a soft shoe at the White House if he makes it. After all, he learned it a few years back from his good buddy, Bob Hope. And just for good luck, yesterday at lunch, guess who showed up with Mr. Spanos? Why, there he is, Bob Hope. And look who has shown up with Julie Moran. Julie, now there's someone who knows something about Super Bowls.
Absolutely. Not too many guys can boast that they've played in 4 consecutive Super Bowls. You know, you must feel a little strange not to be suiting up right now.
Yeah, I am. It's kind of funny because I got here real early this morning, and I was like, right now I'm eating my pregame meal and getting excited and getting ready for the game. And, you know, even being injured early in the season, it's kind of funny we didn't even make the playoffs. But next year, I guess. You know,
you mentioned your knee. You just had surgery 2 weeks ago. How's the recuperation going?
So far, so good. I had Dr. Richard Stedman was down here in Miami, and he checked it out. And he said the rehab's come along perfect. They guarantee me I'll be ready by the first game. And they said maybe 2 weeks into training camp. I said maybe stretch maybe 3 weeks into training camp.
You know, you started quarterback at the University of Miami. How nice would it have been to have played in front of this crowd?
Oh, it'd been great. You know, they're playing in front of an AFC, city with here in Miami. But something we call this place Rich Stadium South. I mean, we come down here, and every time we play the Miami Dolphins, I think the last 8 out of 9 years, we come out victorious. So it's a place where we like to play. All
right, Jim, in your opinion, what does San Diego have to do to shut down Steve Young and company?
That's going to be tough. I think that the front four have to be able to put pressure on them, because if they are going to try to blitz with other guys, that means they're going to put John Taylor and Jerry Rice one-on-one. Now I don't know too many DBs in the National Football League that can cover those guys one-on-one. If San Diego has a chance. I think it's got to be a low-scoring game. Think back Super Bowl 25 real quick. What the New York Giants had to do to beat the Buffalo Bills. They had to keep the ball away from our offense, and that's what the Chargers have to do.
Gotcha. Well, thanks for stopping by. We're going to go back up to Brent Musburger.
Julie, here's the scene out where you are on the field. Now the crowd's slowly starting to come in now. And meanwhile, down on South Beach, well, you can see that it, too, is starting to empty out now as we get ready. And we'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
29 pregame special brought to you by Pizza Hut. You'll love the stuff we're made of. DirecTV, introducing personalized TV. And Goodyear, makers of the all-new Wrangler AquaTread for light trucks, vans, and sport utility vehicles.
Ricky Waters of the San Francisco 49ers waving to some friends who are here. But you know, football is not all X's and O's, folks. Take a look at this scene.
I know.
You see, now this is live, and there you see the 49er cheerleaders, and yes, that's right. There they are with the cheerleaders from San Diego, togetherness at least on one front. Now, as we've been telling you, Super Bowl parties all around the country, in the world, for that matter, like the gang from Me and the Boys getting together.
The whole country saw that run 2 weeks ago in the playoffs.
You guys sure to get excited over these highlight films.
It's because it's Super Bowl Sunday! Instant replay! Did you see my man? My man had the ball. He's rolling up the field. He uses the shake and bake, breaks 2 tackles, and runs right into a cheerleader. You know, it would have been a better play if the referee hadn't called it back for holding. See, now that man shouldn't have went back. Look at him. Big 350-pound rich man. He didn't have to go back just because some little itty-bitty man with a yellow hanky told him to. What kind of penalty is holding anyway? They call back a beautiful play like that just because one guy suddenly felt the need for a hug? They ought to make me a referee.
Oh, yeah, like you do it different.
Oh, yes, I would. I bet I could stop the man from holding. We have holding number 64. That'll be 5 yards and $50,000. Bet that'll put a stop to the holding.
I wonder if that'll work with my wife. Next time she get on me about my weight, I just throw down that flag. Because right now I'd say, I'll pick that up for you, dear.
Hey, you know what? I wonder if that'll work on these boys here. We could start using penalty flags around the house. I could just throw them down. Ta-da! Yeah, but then that'd be just something else you'd ignore, wouldn't it?
I would listen, Daddy.
Would you, Andrew?
Oh, yeah. You bumped my allowance up to $1.5 million. I'm your man.
Well, I tell you what, son. I'll take care of you every Tuesday night at 8:30. That's 7:30 Central Time. Were you about to say that, Mr. Musburger?
Yes, I was, but it's worth repeating. Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern Time. Well, every year a Super Bowl rolls around, it's the Battle of the Blimps. And for Goodyear, this is their 27th Super Bowl. And today's game is being covered by the Stars and Stripes from Pompano Beach, Florida, as we await the 49ers and the Chargers.
Coming up, he was the young head coach of the heavy favorite. He was the brash young superstar who guaranteed victory. Join Joe Namath and Don Shula live.
Well, look at this setting. There are Super Bowl parties going on everywhere. This one on the waters of the Atlantic. Just offshore here. There's a cameraman with a mission. You know, they've had some great Super Bowls down here in South Florida, the best ever. 1960. Now, we're never going to forget this one. This was Super Bowl III. I think this, in effect, made the Super Bowl. Joe Namath and the Jets upsetting Don Shula's Baltimore Colts 16-7. A memory that always lingers. And with them, a guy who's got some other memories, Bob Greasy. He was the quarterback of the only unbeaten team to win a Super Bowl. Take it away, Bob.
Brent, Coach Shula says he doesn't want to be reminded about that. We're here with two of the legends, and Coach, if the Chargers win, it'll be the biggest upset in Super Bowl history, wiping out something that you guys... what do you think the chances are for the Chargers?
Well, I think that they have a chance. You know, nobody gave them a chance all year long, and then they seemed to somehow come up with the answers to get there. And then, of course, in the playoff game, after we're ahead 21-6 at halftime, they had the answers in the second half to win the football game. Nobody gave them a chance at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh should have been way ahead at halftime. They weren't. The Chargers came back and won it in the second half. So they've got to do that same kind of thing here in this ball game. They got to somehow hang in there and then figure out how to win it.
Joe, what about you? What do you think? Can the Chargers do it?
You know, I tried to relate to when we were underdogs, and the first thing comes to mind was Weeb Eubank, our coach, trying to keep us on an even keel ahead of time. He had us ready, determined, but not so dadgum hyper that it was going to hurt our performance. And I think that it's critical that San Diego has a frame of mind that's determined and not hyper. Plus, that Humphrey gets the plays from the sideline early enough to be able to do something, change something. They've got to run the ball, and San Francisco's got to climb up eventually. If Humphrey has enough time, he can get one-on-one things if the running game's going reasonably well. But he has to have time. He's got to get that play.
All right. One quick question. Your future. Marino's 13 years. You're getting a little older. How many chances do you get back to the Super Bowl?
Well, I want to get back there. There's no question about that. I thought we had a great chance this year, and I'm very, very disappointed that we're not here playing in our home stadium. What a tremendous opportunity that was. We blew it. You know, we're unhappy about it, but hopefully next year we'll do it.
Brent, having a great time down here. Wouldn't be a Super Bowl without these two. Back to you.
Well, let's spend a little time with strategy involving the 49ers and Chargers. And who better than to assign San Francisco to Dick Vermeil and San Diego to Boomer. Dick, let's start with that high-octane 49er offense.
Thanks, Brent. As you know, Boomer, the 49ers run the most sophisticated, efficient short passing game in all of football. That's why Steve Young can throw 70% complete.
Yeah, well, as a San Diego defensive player, I am so sick and tired of hearing how good you are and what you've done to us. Now what are you going to do to us?
Well, I'm going to repeat those slant patterns against the Jerry Rice. They were 3 for 3 last time. They throw him from different actions and moving him around. And if you stop then, I'm going to go to the tight end delay that was so good last time. One of them scored a touchdown.
Well, the reason they were so good is because we made errors in our zones. And we've seen this film just like everybody else is seeing it today. So we are going to adjust to those particular plays.
Well, you tie down that linebacker. Now I'm going to boot the quarterback outside on the naked run-pass option. Really tough to defense that. You're on defense.
Well, let me just tell you something. You're going to run your quarterback around? Now, that's pretty dangerous, and I know that firsthand because I suffered a concussion against the San Diego Charger defense.
You still have it.
But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bring an 8-man front up around. I'm going to force penetration with Lee and Davis in the middle, and I'm going to stop your power running game, especially in short yardage.
But I'm throwing to Rice.
Well, you're also trying to get the ball to Ricky Waters, and right here what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Junior Seau up the middle in a blitz, and I'm going to force Ricky Waters to run to the sideline, and then I'm going to catch him with my pursuit. And then I'm going to kind of screw with my defensive coverages, and I'm going to try to confuse Steve Young. I'm going to throw a little bit more man coverage at him.
You better not play too much man coverage.
Oh, we're going to play some man coverage. Around the league, we're known as a very basic zone defense. So we're going to have to do some different things to confuse you. And most of all, we're going to hit you right in the mouth when you catch the football.
Oh, we may not make a first down.
I doubt you will. Later on in the show, we'll be back, and I'll show you how my Charger offense is going to score against his Niner defense.
When we return, the NFC has captured 10 straight Super Bowl titles. The experts tell us why this streak happened.
There may have been some better coaches in the NFC over a period of years than there might have been in the AFC.
This year, thousands of people will invest in the promise of new technology, the promise of an integrated safety system to help guard against the unexpected.
Well, some of the players on the field. There's Gail Gilbert. What a story he is. He played on the Buffalo Bills in their 4 trips to the Super Bowl. The Chargers said, thanks for getting us here, but you're finished. And now we move our location down here to field level. You can see behind me, they're getting ready for all the pregame festivities that are about to start. But I want to bring in my colleague, Peter King. Peter, I find it very interesting that over the last decade, the NFC has been so dominant against the AFC.
Brent, it's not interesting. It's downright bizarre. You know, they draft from the same college pool. They hire coaches from the same football world. They live in a copycat league. And yet the NFC has won 10 straight Super Bowls by a not-so-super average of 22 points a game. You're about to find out why. In the early years of the Super Bowl, this was the AFC's game. Beginning in 1969, AFC teams won 11 of 13 Super Bowls. Not anymore. How has the AFC sung the blues? Let us count the ways. There were bitter disappointments and last-second heroics. There were blowouts and a missed field goal that broke Buffalo's heart. Dan Reeves has coached in both conferences.
Those organizations from top to bottom, did a good job. And not that the AFC doesn't with Buffalo and Denver. I think those are good organizations too. But they just had better teams, particularly on that given day.
And they made the right coaching hires. The NFC plucked two of the brightest coaches ever from college football.
I was going to go into professional football somewhere. It might not have been Dallas. It had been somewhere. And who knows what would have happened there. I think with Bill Walsh, had he gone to, say, Cincinnati, without question, in my mind, they would have been a lot more successful than what they have been.
I think there were certain organizations, maybe by chance, in the NFC that were better managed and who were more adept in developing personnel and talent. And even to the extent there may have been some better coaches in the NFC over a period of years than there might have been in the AFC.
These coaches preach the gospel of smash mouth. That all starts with defense.
I see ferocious defensive play, and that's probably the biggest key. In the AFC, they tend to throw the ball a little bit more. They try to finesse you a little bit more. And the NFC, guys just come out and play just tough-nosed football.
Which leads to turnovers. The AFC has fallen behind big in 7 of the 10 Super Bowls. That's led to mistake after mistake after mistake.
When you fall behind, the takeaways mount. You begin to press. You try to get back in the game. You take bigger chances.
Witness the woe-begone Bills. They've thrown away the last 4 Super Bowls by perfecting the art of the turnover. Another thing, remember that great Marino-led quarterback class of 1983? They're 0-9 in Super Bowls.
Sometimes teams get caught up when the quarterback is so good or is really such a talent, you get mesmerized by him and you build so much around him and you go into a game. Now, does he have a good game, we win. If he struggles at any at all, we lose. And I think that's happened to a few AFC teams.
The Cowboys have been the epitome of NFC success. Find a horse who lives to run, put him behind a line averaging 300 pounds a man, and just run it, baby. The NFC has outrushed the AFC 2-1 over the last decade.
I think over the past few years, the NFC teams have had the physical football teams, the bigger teams, the pounding teams, the running teams, and I think that made a difference.
Is there any hope for the AFC? That's the question. Well, San Diego is here in large part because of the team that Bobby Beathard built in the Washington image. And there's been a brain drain of NFC coaches like Bill Belichick and Bill Parcells to the AFC. And I think the tide will turn, but just not today. Julie, let's go out to you on the field.
Well, Peter, one of the most dominant guys in the NFC for the past several years, joins us right now from his home in Texas, Troy Aikman. And Troy, you're kind of a rookie at hosting Super Bowl parties. How's it going to go?
Well, it's not going to go real well. It's very quiet. I don't really have anything planned other than sitting here watching the game with a few friends. I'd be lying if I didn't say that I'd much rather be in Miami getting ready to play in this ball game.
Really, how difficult is it going to be for you to sit there and watch this football game?
Well, in all honesty, I don't know how much of it I'm actually going to watch. I've been fortunate enough to have played in the last 2 Super Bowls, and it was a football team this year that had that in mind. And so it is very difficult for me to be sitting here in Texas and watching the game on television, and very happy for both of the teams that are playing it and wish them both well.
Well, Troy, what is it going to take to beat the 49ers? You know.
Well, I'm not sure I know this year. They've got an outstanding football team. I think, like most games, this thing's going to come down to who can control the clock and who can not turn the ball over. And I think whoever does that is going to win. Certainly San Diego is going to have to be patient in their approach. They're going to have to be able to run the football against the 49ers. And then they're going to have to mix things up in the passing game. And obviously they're going to have to be able to slow down Jerry Rice and Steve Young and those players that do such a good job for them.
All right, Troy, thank you. Let's go to Leslie Visser right now. Leslie?
Thanks, Julie. George Seifert grew up in San Francisco. He used to usher games at Kezar Stadium when the 49ers wore the throwback uniforms they'll be wearing today. He said his challenge this week was to dissolve the feeling of invincibility, of overconfidence against the underdog Chargers. And a little while ago, I asked him what he's been telling the team.
Well, it's something that this is something we build up to. I don't know that there's any one passage that's going to describe how we feel right now or how we're going to handle it. But I think we've had good work, good practices, and we look forward to the ball game.
Well, the hottest assistant coach in professional football right now is the 49ers offensive coordinator, Mike Shanahan. Let me handicap his future. The Denver Broncos are the definite favorite. He could sign with them as early as next week. But beware of Eddie DeBartolo and his checkbook. You never know what he's going to do. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to finish a very distant third in this contest.
When we return, he's got the moves on the field and off.
I must entertain.
Find out what drives Deion Sanders.
You're either with me or you're not.
We built this jump and
Play ball with me, and I'll play ball with you. I'll be your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. All right, Tobias, give it all you got.
My life flashed before me right after the snap. The Cowboys are coming. Watch out for the sack. Too tall Jones is going to break your back. I somehow escaped. High in the air. 60,000 fans held their breath and stared. Jump, Dwight, jump. Left, now right. Extend. Trust me, my friend. Then I grabbed hold of my favorite end. Ouch! Montana and Clark, both guys got it made, except if one day I agreed to a trade. Hey, guys!
Are women really not strong enough to do some jobs? Are men just too aggressive to raise children? New research shows that men and women really are different. Join John Stossel for a program everyone will be talking about. Men, women, and the sex difference. Wednesday.
Thursday. Imagine the real Rambo, really ticked off. At our government. How mad is he? He's got followers on a mountaintop preparing for just about anything. Prepare yourself for Bo Greitz. Day 1, Thursday.
live from Super Bowl 29, the Pizza Hut pregame report continues.
Joe Robbie Stadium, and as you look off in the background, you can see some ominous clouds. And yes, we do have a chance of thunderstorms which could pass through this area. And you say, who has the biggest advantage? Well, Stan Humphries told us the other day, he said it doesn't matter. The team with the football always has the edge when it rains because the receivers know where they're going and the defensive backs don't. Now, the most colorful character in this game is not Stan. No, it's a defensive back who wears number 21 at San Francisco. For more on that, let's go to Leslie.
Brent, that's true. It's a big day for Deion Sanders, who is arguably the greatest athlete of our time. He's the first man to play in the World Series and the Super Bowl. And he's a little bit different than you might think. He doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, and he doesn't alienate his teammates. In fact, he calls them my partners in prime. Well, on Thursday, he took a few passes from Steve Young, so we'll see if he plays on offense. What Deion does do, though, is market himself. He wants to become the first cornerback in the history of the NFL to become a household name.
The field is a stage. The stage is surrounded by thousands and thousands of fans. Therefore, I must entertain. I'm not belittling anyone when I high step or when I dance. I'm not showing anyone up. I'm just having a good time and sending the fans home with a little something extra.
He practices hard, plays hard. He doesn't wear you out with his hype. All he does, to me, is have a good time playing. When he's out on the field dancing, and I kind of enjoy it.
So you've got this great athlete with this outgoing, excitable type personality. At the same time, can be very, very focused, very professional, and very, down to earth and team orientated.
That public persona, I thought that was him. And I didn't realize it until he came here that not only is he a great talent, but the guy has a great work ethic.
stuff he did off the field, he would keep it off the field. He wouldn't drag it around the locker room or anything like that. He played football in that locker room, and that's what he did. My mother was my true role model. I mean, my father was on drugs. I mean, my stepfather used alcohol. So, I mean, that in the whole community was drug infested. I mean, not just my family. So, I mean, things like that really let me see the light. I mean, I didn't want to go that direction.
Deion Sanders, when he came to Florida State, believe it or not, was quiet as a lamb. But his senior year, it looked like Deion said, I'm going to market myself because I know what's out there, you know? And he did that.
Oh, it's Deion's shoe. It's Deion Sanders' shoe.
In this album, I was a lot more comfortable about the way I truly feel. I mean, I really laid it out on the line on this album about any and everything. I told it just like it was. You're either with me or you're not. But one way or another, you got to see me. You got to see me play, and you got to know that I'm going to do my job. But I'm going to have a good time doing what I do.
One more thing about Deion. He is one smart hombre. He gambled on a one-year contract and made it to the Super Bowl. And don't be surprised if the Miami Dolphins make him a blockbuster of a deal in the offseason. Coming up now, Al, Frank, and Dan, who will be the voices of Super Bowl 29. We'll hear from them in just a moment.
This Super Bowl 29 pregame special brought to you by Pizza Hut. You'll love the stuff we're made of. Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. And Pepsi-Cola Company, who reminds you that nothing else is a Pepsi.
Soft and puffy clouds so high.
Well, Bart Oates certainly knows Super Bowl success with the New York Giants. Here is Oates. He has a degree in accounting from Brigham Young. He'll be snapping to a man who has a law degree from that university. But the question is for Al, Dan, and Frank, can the San Diego Chargers handle Bart Oates and Steve Young?
Well, Brent, I arrived here this past Tuesday, and I think it's probably the same for Dan and Al. And the most frequently asked question of me, who's going to win this thing? And I'm going to ponder and be very profound about it and think about it. And I don't get to answer it. The next question interrupts my thinking is, does San Diego have a chance? And I think, Al, that's the perception of this game, that San Francisco is such an overwhelming favorite that the Chargers don't have a shot in this game.
Frank, I think the reason so many millions of people love sports is its unpredictability, the amazing and incredible things that we have seen. And just to go through a few of them, we'll go back to 1969. The New York Mets were in the 8th year of their existence. They had been an abysmal team, but these were the amazing Mets, the miracle Mets, who won the National League pennant and then beat the Baltimore Orioles in the World Series in 5 games to capture the title. And speaking of miracles, well, Lake Placid, New York, 1980, the Winter Olympics in the middle of the Cold War, a group of fuzzy-cheeked 22-year-olds beat the Soviet Union, the best hockey team in the world, on the way to a gold medal. In basketball, in 1985, the Final Four, Georgetown, #1 in the country. Villanova had come in unranked. Rollie Massimino and his group celebrated over John Thompson. In 1990, Buster Douglas was, in the parlance of boxing, a tomato can. Nothing. All of a sudden, Mike Tyson was on the deck as Douglas won in a huge upset. And now, of course, the comparison everybody's been making all week, Super Bowl III, which took place 26 years ago and about 15 miles to the south, Namath and the Jets winning 16-7. Dan, if the Chargers win today, do we add this game to that clip reel?
Oh, it goes right on the clip reel. We could have arguments, does it go to the head of the clip reel or somewhere in the middle? I think it goes right up towards the front. I don't think anything can surpass what our United States Olympic hockey team did to the Soviet Union. But if you take a look at this team and you compare it to the 49ers, one of the things I've always liked to do is like take both starting units, throw them into the hopper, and then make one team. And when I come up with 22 starters out of that mix, 17 of them play for the San Francisco 49ers, 5 for the San Diego Chargers. So, yes, it would be a colossal upset.
going to find out who those 5 were, but right now we're going to go back to Brent.
Frank, Allen, Dan, I know one that Dan picks. There he is. Let me tell you one little quick anecdote about Steve Young. When he was at Brigham Young, he once dated Marie Osmond. Now you know where he took her? They went bowling. Steve Young will be ready for this Super Bowl. He has not been partying on South Beach. And the fierce warrior who leads San Diego, Junior Seau, will be ready.
Coming up, Junior Seau's toughest moment wasn't on the football field.
My daughter was dying. That was the first time in my life that I felt that I was vulnerable.
Welcome to the big game. And today's favorite takes the field. Leading the league in carries. Unbelievable. I'll say it again. You just can't win without a strong defense. Man, I'm here to tell you, impressive running game out there. The new Ford Explorer, far and away the best the world has to offer. Look at that. Perfect field position.
Look, it's a gold card. Sure, no card on the planet is more useful, but it can't grant you inner peace. Well, I don't know. I mean, you could use it to go someplace where your only action would be one of non-action, which is pretty peaceful. And if you let Master Guest arrange your vacation, you'd save 20 to 40%, plus another $100 if you book by April 30th. And saving money might be the path of true wisdom. So I guess Gold MasterCard could help you see the light. Just remember to wear your sunscreen. Gold MasterCard, it's more than a gold card, it's smart money. Look for your Gold MasterCard application and apply.
Hey, America, something's missing from your sandwich. The great taste of cheese. Your roast beef sandwich scores a 0. But add some tangy cheese, you've got a great American hero.
Now this is a winner.
Give your sandwich a new attitude with cheese.
What if I told you everything you know about TV is about to change? Because now there's DirecTV, totally digital television. More movies, more sports, more of what I want than ever before. All through a tiny satellite dish about the size of a small pet. Stay. With digital quality video and CD sound, everything's going to look great. How does DirecTV work? I have no idea, but it does. Get your DSS 18-inch dish and DirecTV at your RCA dealer.
It's a great month of exciting events on Lois and Clark with the return of Lex Luthor, Bronson Pinchot as the prankster, and a special guest appearance by Raquel Welch as the reporter. It's a super February with Lois and Clark. Get ready for this.
Money, sex, murder. Some people just can't get enough. Dennis Franz, Peter Strauss, Heather Locklear, based on a true story. Texas Justice coming in February to ABC.
This Super Bowl 29 pregame special brought to you by the new Ford Explorer, far and away the best Ford Explorer ever. And Goodyear, makers of the all-new Wrangler Aquatred for light trucks, vans, and sport utility vehicles.
You are looking live at Junior Seau. He is the leader of the San Diego Chargers. Played much of the season with that painful shoulder because of the pinched nerve. Lynn Swan goes behind the scenes and tells us the story of this warrior.
On and off the field, it is do or die for Junior Seau. One of the NFL's best linebackers has an unstoppable need to be the best, a need driven by guilt and fear.
I know what it's like in the real world. I didn't read about it. I didn't watch it. I didn't see a movie about it. I lived it. And I don't want to go back.
Junior Seau grew up in gang-ridden Oceanside, California. The Seau sheltered their children from the ugliness of the neighborhood and instilled in them a devout work ethic. While all Junior's brothers and sisters contributed to the family finances, Junior played ball, his way of giving back.
I felt that in high school and during my junior high school years, I wanted to go out there and bring a smile to mom and dad. And how was I going to do that? By performing in basketball, football, and track. Bringing home a trophy. That was my paycheck to mom and dad. That was my paycheck to my brothers and sisters, to prove to them that I'm not just out there playing around. You know, I want to do something. I want to be the best, but I didn't have the paychecks to show for.
Junior's desire and strength to be the best is obvious, but not everything is under his control. Since November 20th, Junior Seau has been playing with the intense pain of a pinched nerve. He needs time to heal, time he doesn't have. He also needs time to ease the pain in his heart. He couldn't control the path his younger brother took.
The expectations that I put on my little brother is something that I didn't know was there. I felt that, you know, it's gonna be a lot easier for you, bro. I didn't look at it in terms of my brother couldn't reach the goals in which I set.
Junior's daughter, Sydney, was born dangerously premature. Another reminder that the future is difficult to control.
My daughter was dying before she even started to live. And it killed me. I couldn't control that. That was the first time in my life that I felt that I was vulnerable. We're wondering whether or not we'll wake up the next morning to find out that she left us. Now that's life. That's tough. Football is just a game, and it always will be a game. That doesn't mean I don't want to be one of the best at it. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to give it all I have. But my family's my base.
Junior and Gina Seau, their daughter Sydney, is a healthy 17-month-old girl now, as any other girl would be at this time. And his brother, when he's released, well, Junior says he will be right there to help him because his family is the most important thing. But today he wants to help his extended family, the San Diego Chargers. And the man who adopted him and brought him to San Diego, General Manager Bobby Beathard. Bobby, you came in from the NFC to build a team in the AFC. You've got one of the best eyes for talent in the National Football League. How do you size up this game? What does San Diego have to do in terms of the matchups to win?
Well, we are trying to build it like an NFC team. If you talk about this NFC team we're playing, we'd love to have a team like that. If you look at everything, maybe we don't match up. Not many teams match up. In fact, no team matches up with the 49ers. But if we play well and can offensively and can keep the ball, that's where we think we have our shot in this game.
Okay, Bobby, thank you, Brent. He also told me before the Pittsburgh game, if they played well, they'd be okay. Hopefully they wouldn't embarrass themselves, and they came out of that game a winner.
Well, Lynn, one of the interesting things is that the coaching staff says, we're not going to avoid number 21. We're going right at Deion Sanders. We want to get the sweep over there and see if we can make him try to tackle somebody this season.
Coming up, drop in on America's favorite handyman.
Boy, there's a Friday thought.
Join Tim Allen on the set for a special Super Bowl party.
We built this.
And on the largest halftime stage ever constructed, you'll see Patti LaBelle, Tony Bennett, and a stunt spectacular like no other in the Doritos Super Bowl halftime show featuring Disney's Indiana Jones Adventure.
So? Are you going to cut your tie?
Bring to me the trophy!
Bring to me my third Super Bowl trophy is what Ken Norton says, having played with the Dallas Cowboys in each of the last 2 years. Well, Super Bowl parties everywhere. Our favorite handyman is having one with several members of the Detroit Lions, including Chris Spielman, Dave Craig, and Kelvin Pritchett.
This has got to be the best roast beef sandwich I've ever had.
Well, Spielman, you ought to know. One more sandwich, you have a whole cow sitting in your stomach. Get me out of here.
Forget the roast beef. This guacamole's great. You're a good cook, Tim.
Oh, yeah, thanks a lot. I spent all day on it.
So, how's everyone enjoying my guacamole?
Oh, Al, you made this? It's delicious.
Why, thank you, Kelvin. You know, the secret is I always add a little sugar.
I think the secret's out, buddy.
So, guys, who do you like today?
That blonde cheerleader, third from the left.
Well, your wife's going to like to hear that, isn't she?
I like the Chargers. Niners.
Yeah? I don't care who wins, as long as there's no blood and it's close.
Yeah, we're talking about a football game, not a shave. All right, go get some more like this.
Yeah, seeing those guys work out like that makes me hungry. Fritz, everything makes you hungry. Hey, nice picture on that set.
Yeah, that's because I got a satellite dish put up on the roof myself, you know? It's got the weakest signature pick 'em up all of these little satellites. Even those rinky-dink shows I pick up.
Oh, so I guess you get tool time, huh?
Gosh, darn it, you're a funny guy, Dave. I bet you guys really wish you could be on the field right now, huh?
Actually, Tim, Miami's rather humid this time of year. And the mosquitoes are as big as I am.
Well, there's a frightening thought.
Hey, the game's just about to start.
All right.
Right. Hey, wait a minute. What's wrong with the TV?
Satellite. Hold on a second. Look at that. Live sumo wrestling from Japan.
Tim, where's the game? Do something.
Look at your mom and your sister wrestle. Let's watch that. Hold on.
Oh, we got.
Wait a second. Come on.
Oh, man.
Hold on. Look at this guy here. Here's the game. Out of here. No, sir. Yeah, right. Well, like, where are you going to go?
We're going to watch the game.
Wait a minute. Come on, fellas. Look at this. We're going to Fonz's house? Well, what do you want to watch? Polish folk dancing?
Seen it.
So tune in this Tuesday on ABC when Home Improvement poses the age-old question, what's more important, taking care of your sick wife or watching the Super Bowl? The scene here at Joe Robbie Stadium now starting to fill up for Super Bowl 29. And the Bud 1 airship, the aerial ambassador of the King of Beers, is proud to provide you these aerial shots of Super Bowl 29. Far away in Antarctica, 7,500 miles away, there's another Super Bowl party. They're going to be watching this game live.
Football can be exciting, but truck football, now that...
Last night's rumor that Jerry Rice was ill and might not play looks fine and ready to go. Now let's go back to our two master strategists, Dick Vermeil and Boomer Esiason. Dick, give Boomer the ball, will you please?
Now, Boomer, you've been a nice guy and allowed me to move the ball offensively. You go ahead and move the Chargers offensively.
Well, let me tell you something. You have some great players on your offense. No question about that. But I have some pretty good football players as well. And number one is Natron Means. And what we like to do with him is get him up the middle in the secondary and force your secondary players to try to make the tackle. And when you have a 245-pound player come up the middle like this, and he has a head of steam, he's very difficult to tackle. And we know you do not want to do that.
Well, we're going to commit those defensive tackles inside.
Well, let me tell you something. You think we run the ball? Well, let me tell you, we live and die by the big play. And right here you can see Stan Humphries hit Alfred Papuno in stride for a touchdown.
We're not going to make those mistakes in our secondary.
You will make those mistakes, I can guarantee it. I can almost tell you that, no, we just don't play action and throw the ball deep. We are able to drop back and throw the ball deep. Stan Humphries is one of the more accurate deep throws in the NFL. And not only that, he's a tough guy. He can deliver the ball in the face of a rush, and he is the symbol of our football team. So you better get ready for a rough-and-tumble football game, my friend.
Well, let me get on defense then, all right? Go on defense. We're going to stop you running by putting 8 people up on the line of scrimmage. Bringing the strong safety, McDonald, up there. 8 people, they're tough to run the ball. Now we've stopped your running game with good combination play of the 2 young defensive tackles inside. Boy, they really stuffed you last time, only 56 yards running. We force you to throw. We go one-on-one with Deion Sanders and rotate the secondary and double up the other people. Tough to throw against that kind of coverage. I don't know if you're going to get any points.
Well, it's tough to run against that, but I can tell you right now, if Deion Sanders has to tackle Natron Means, we win the game.
Sounds like an even ball game. Back to you, Brent.
All right, Dick. Here's the scene at South Beach right now. You can see it's emptying out. Folks are getting ready. Way down alongside another ocean, 7,500 miles away, is Antarctica. A group of scientists down there are studying the ozone level. They're having a Super Bowl party. We have Mr. Dwight Fisher. I know there's going to be a delay on my voice and his coming back. But, Dwight, I understand that it's Monday in Antarctica. If so, I want you to tell me who won this Super Bowl and by how many points.
Yeah, it is Monday. It's Monday morning, about 11 o'clock, a little after that here, and we're not going to spoil the game and tell you the score yet.
All right. Listen, Dwight, I know you're a Chicago Bear fan. Does that mean you're going to stick with the NFC today and root for the 49ers?
Most definitely. I'm an NFC fan, and I think for Steve Young, he deserves the credit that he'll get when he wins this game.
Dwight, good luck down there. One thing's for sure, folks. There'll be no problem keeping the beer cold down in Antarctica. So our pregame show for Super Bowl 29 continues from Joe Robbie.
Coming up, he has led his team to the pinnacle of success, but the road at its price.
Okay, it's easy to do it when it's great, but how is it when it's really, really rough?
Inside Steve Young, next.
Classy man, George Seifert. He has stayed in the background, put together a tremendous football team. Will he overwhelm the Chargers? Lynn Swan, does San Diego have any chance against George Seifert and the Niners?
Oh, I certainly think they do, but both of these teams, when they stop talking the talk and walk the walk, they're anxious to put this game on the field. And what the San Diego Chargers want to do is find a little seam, a weakness on the San Francisco 49ers team offensively and defensively and exploit it. They have to put themselves in position to win, and then they'll have a chance. And I know, Bob, anything is possible in a game like this.
Well, Lenny, I love playing in the Super Bowls because you had 2 weeks to prepare, and that means you are very confident. Both of these quarterbacks are going to be very confident in what they want to do coming out this afternoon. The only problem is there's a little bit of uncertainty because when you've had so long to prepare, the other team may change what they do. You don't want surprises. There may be some today. What do you think, Dick?
Well, I'll tell you this, in coming down here, I didn't give them much of a chance, the Chargers. But after watching them practice, if intensity, concentration, and tempo have anything to do with performance on Sunday afternoon, I think the Chargers are going to play them tough.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dick, I also agree with you, but I can tell you, 1989, we were 7.5-point underdogs. And all of a sudden, Stanford Jennings runs a 93-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. It gave us the confidence we needed. You just never know in the NFL. Right, Brent?
Yeah, exactly, Boomer. And inside their locker room, another group under the gun. This has not been the best of years for the officials. There's Jerry Markbright on the right. He'll be the referee, and this group hopes to have a big day in which you don't notice one of them. And we will continue our countdown to kickoff.
This Super Bowl 29 pregame special brought to you by the new Ford Explorer, far and away the best Ford Explorer ever, and America's pork producers who invite you to taste what's next, pork, the other white meat. Our pregame activities will continue with the Doritos Kickoff Show after this message from our ABC stations.
Of all the gifts you can give a child,
Activities continue with the Doritos Kickoff Show, brought to you by Doritos Tortilla Chips, flavors the way you look at life. And Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me.
In 1989, Steve Young stood on the sidelines here in Joe Robbie and watched the San Francisco 49ers win a world championship. Now he thinks it's his turn. Well, for more than 5 years, Steve Young's case has been tried in the media. Is he a great quarterback? Can he replace Joe Montana? But Young, a lawyer himself, knows that winning the Super Bowl would bring a kind of closure. In legal terms, would make him whole. Steve Young has waited years for this opportunity, years of discouragement and disappointment, of preparing but not playing. Fighting the spell that Joe Montana cast over a city, Young suffered quietly and dealt with it alone, wanting to make a memory he could live with.
I didn't want to look back and go, oh yeah, you were great, Steve, when everything was going okay. But when things weren't going well, and this is in my heart, within myself, and know within myself that I really choked it during the times when it was tough. I wanted to really say, okay, it's easy to do it when it's great, but how is it when it's really, really rough?
Although many think of him as being from Provo, Utah, or the West Coast, he was raised here in Greenwich, Connecticut. Sherry Young was the homecoming queen at BYU. Her husband's nickname was Grit, a fullback for BYU who raised 5 children with an iron hand.
My dad's had a tough theory about joy. If you're having joy, it means that you're not working hard enough. I felt like everything had to have a cost, you know. You didn't appreciate it enough if you didn't have a cost. In fact, there was always a sense in our family that if you earned it, then it had much greater value.
Los Angeles.
His father made a suggestion he would later regret when he urged Steve to sign with the USFL after college, a decision Steve was sorry he made.
Makes the catch.
I signed this contract in the paper, a $40 million man, and then the editorials were all, look what's wrong with sports in America. And I always wanted to be what was right with sports in America, and the next day I was what was wrong with sports in America. It was tough to deal with.
Steve had always dreamed of going into the NFL. He'd always wanted to be like Roger Staubach. And he signed with the USFL and woke up the next morning and realized that he'd given away his dream.
And when it looked as though he might never get it back. After 2 years with the USFL, he finally made it to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hardly the stuff of NFL dreams. But after landing in San Francisco, he found himself backing up the great Joe Montana. 3 years ago, when his contract expired, he had another chance to leave and again asked his father what he should do. But his father this time didn't want to give advice.
I said, Stephen, this time you're going to make the decision. You do what you want to do. What do you want to do? He says, I want to stay here. Everybody's telling me I should leave. I want to stay here. And I says, then you should stay there.
When he was finally given the starting job, Young was always compared to the magnificent Montana and suffered the tag that he couldn't win the critical game. In fact, it never really became Young's team until a transforming moment this year against Philadelphia. When Young was pulled from the game, usually mild-mannered, he exploded.
When he got pulled out and he was over there ramping and raving and really just, going off on the sideline, everybody knew how he felt. Because, he felt like, hey, my team is out there losing. I'm the starting quarterback while I'm on the sideline. I don't care if we're getting beat 50 to nothing. I want to be out there with my team taking a pounding too. And I think everybody grew a lot of respect from that.
For a man who believes in the added value of things that are not given but earned, this Super Bowl is paramount. And for Young, the pain was lifted in one glorious moment, winning the elusive NFC Championship.
My career has been so bizarre in many ways. If it would have been different, I certainly wouldn't have had as many laughs or as many cries. It would have been much simpler, but certainly I couldn't ask for more.
Steve Young never wanted money for nothing. Harris Barton, who used to room with Steve Young, said that one day he opened a drawer and found nearly $1 million in uncashed 49er checks. Steve just didn't think he'd earn it. Well, for one man who has a perspective on playing in the Super Bowl, let's check in with Boomer Esiason.
Well, Leslie, he has earned every dollar this year and even the last 3 years. Steve really has nothing to prove to us of the ones that play in the NFL. He's done just about everything. He's won every award imaginable for every football player in this league. The one thing he is missing, however, is the Super Bowl championship. And I think in his own mind, the 2 rings that he already possesses don't really mean that much to him. So this day is a very big day for him. Don't you agree, Bob?
Boomer, I agree. I like this kid. He's at the top of his game. He's been in the league for 10 years. And what that means to me is mentally he knows what's going on, both on offense, what he wants to get done, and on defense, what they're trying to do to him. And physically, he still has the skills after 10 years to get it done. He is not diminished in his skills. The pressure is not on him. He knows he does not have to play a great game for San Francisco to win. He just needs to avoid playing a bad game. Hey, Brent.
All right, Bob, as we can see, the players have left the field, and the pregame intensity now starts to pick up for the fans.
Doritos presents the Moose Lodge with your host, Daryl Johnson.
Back Eric Bieniemy. Watch him get blasted by Sean Lee, who missed the Pittsburgh game. Now watch the reaction. Now, Lynn Swann, as we see this, Lee obviously appears ready to go, but so does this football team. This is high intensity.
Oh, Brent, you're absolutely correct. I talked to the team trainer. He got his knee scoped before the Pittsburgh game, and he's completely healthy now. I talked to Bill Arnsparker. He said the best pressure on San Francisco may have been in the last Monday night game against the Vikings, and their 2 tackles put the best pressure on Steve Young. Sean Lee, the 7-year player of the North Alabama, he is a man who is critical inside. They've got to get that pressure if they're going to have a chance to stop San Francisco and Steve Young. Brent, here's Leslie.
As for the 49ers, they are looking to dominate here. This game means many things to many people. Gary Plummer just now told me that in the locker room he was very nervous. He spent 8 years with the Chargers. He said, this game won't be the pinnacle for me. It will be a relief. Well, as for Deion Sanders, who chose the 49ers over the Miami Dolphins, he just said, if I had signed with Miami, the Dolphins would be here in the Super Bowl. That might sound cocky, but that's what I think. Jerry Rice, by the way, just had an IV as a precautionary. Let's go to Peter King.
Thanks, Leslie. Speaking of Deion Sanders, 3 months ago, Deion Sanders told me flat out, if I get to the Super Bowl, buckle your seatbelts, I'm going to play the game of my life. Well, I'll tell you what, if he's going to play the game of his life, he's going to play it with grass stains on his pants. Just talking to a Charger on the field moments ago, they are going to go after Deion in the running game and really try to physical himself out of this game. Brent?
Well, there are 174 countries which will carry the signal out of Joe Robbie Stadium. Here are some of the foreign broadcasters getting ready for their version of Super Bowl 29.
Leon, Big Cat Lett, Tim Fox, and Joe Wolf. If you're into marine life, my preferred choice is Kenny the Shark Gant. But Moose's favorite football animal is the swan. Check this guy out. He's swift, he's graceful, and he can fly. Kind of like me.
Get ready for this.
Robbie beginning to fill up for Super Bowl 29. You know, Dick Vermeil, I thought Peter King really raised a fascinating question. He said the Chargers want to put heavy pressure on Deion Sanders, get blockers over on him. Can you do that as a pro football team? Can you go after Deion Sanders like that, and how can they accomplish that?
Well, first off, I think the 49ers will try to keep Deion Sanders out of a run-force position. But with a multiple formation package that the Chargers use within their running game, he will have to come up and force the run from time to time.
Now, Dick, on the other side of it, there are so many weapons. If you're Bill Arnsparger, can you keep everything in front of you? Can you play as soft against the 49ers as he did 5 weeks ago in San Diego?
Well, I don't believe you can, because that's how they make a living, throwing that short, efficient passing game. They're going to have to crowd that short passing game from time to time.
Now, what about the nerves? Dick, tell me what it was like down inside the Philadelphia locker room before you brought the Eagles out against the Raiders. What's going on? I know you're laughing.
Hey, whatever I said, Brent, it was wrong, okay? But I'll tell you what I was talking to them about. I was thanking them for the opportunity they gave me to represent them for 5 years, the effort they made to bring the Eagles here, especially the 11, 12 guys that have been there all 5 years. And I also said to them, there is a time in your career to be at your best, and now is the time.
All right, Dick. So there we are, a game that has grown so much over the last 29 years. Remember back in Super Bowl I, there were empty seats in the Los Angeles Coliseum. Seats were priced at $25 a piece. Now we're getting ready here in Joe Robbie, and the cheapest ticket is $200. The world awaits Super Bowl 29. 174 countries will take the feed. And we estimate the audience for this Super Bowl will be in excess of 750 million. We hope everyone enjoys Super Bowl 29. In Maine, they've come in from the shore to watch the Super Bowl. The DMZ in Korea, our young soldiers are ready. In San Diego, the Charger fans are euphoric. Down under in Australia, they're ready. Grable, Wyoming, where the Cowboys have come in to watch the game. In Antarctica, they're bellying up. In San Francisco, can the 49ers win it for a 5th time? The stage is set.
What's not an American footy Super Bowl?
Super Bowl 29 is coming up.
If you believe.
The Super Bowl trophy is the prize. The San Diego Chargers and the San Francisco 49ers, the teams. The players in tonight's game will add to the glorious moments of Super Bowl history.
Ball going after cover, and it's got the quad, catches it on a circus catch.
It's blocked. The ball is loose. It was blocked, I believe, by Baxter. It's still up for grabs. Mike Bass grabs it. Mike Bass is at the 40-yard. Back to throw, Montana. Steps up, throws. Touchdown, 49ers! Back, spot, in the air. Got the distance. It is no good.
It is 32-yard field goal by Jimmy O'Brien. The Jets have won the Super Bowl with a final score: New York 16, Baltimore 7.
The Super Bowl, the despair of losing, the ecstasy of winning.
When the game ended, there was such a feeling of elation, joy, tickling explosion inside. The teammates, you know, we did it! We did it, you know?
I think the disappointment hits you more maybe later that night, even the next morning, and over the next 2 or 3 days. And I think it's very important that once a week, 2 weeks pass, you put it behind you.
The realization to me as a player was that no matter whatever happens to me in my life, this is the one game I want to win. Nobody can ever take this away from me. Nobody can say what they want to say about me, but I have quarterbacked a championship team.
We have arrived at the pinnacle hour of American sport. It is the World Championship of Professional Football. Super Bowl 29. The kickoff is moments away. Ladies and gentlemen, Hank Williams, Jr. Well, it's kickoff time and we're ready to rock. Time to catch all the hits, the bangs, and the blocks. It's the game of the year that's coming your way. The Chargers and the Niners are ready to play. They got it in gear. It's all on the line. Here comes Super Bowl 29. So get ready. I mean, get ready. Are you ready for the football? For its biggest party? Yeah, this is old Hank, and I'm back, and I'm ready to get this thing started. So put the teams on the field and get them pumped up right. The whole world's watching this title fight. Watching this game, all the great teams and all the big names, red hot receivers and bruising back, Tom and Jimmy's boys at Lombardi's pack. We've seen a perfect season and a guarantee, a wild card winner and a dynasty. We all remember a missed field goal because it sailed wide right in the Super Bowl. Are you ready for the football? The game's biggest party. This is Rockin' Randall Hank, ready to get this thing started. Get those helmets cracking. This place is tight. The Chargers and Niners won't hold back tonight. Yes, everybody is a fan. This is the biggest party, man. All my rowdy friends across the land are ready to get this game started. So let's bring them out. We're all ready to go. It's time to kick off this Super Bowl show. Let's go.
Thank you for being here, ladies and gentlemen. And now get ready for Super Bowl 29.
Welcome to Joe Robbie Stadium, Miami, Florida, Super Bowl 29. The San Francisco 49ers and the San Diego Chargers. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Super Bowl, and it is rocking here in Miami. A very special welcome to the millions of fans watching around the world, and in particular, our servicemen. I'm Frank Gifford, along with Al and Michaels and Dan Deerdorf, and we are privileged and honored to bring you this telecast. A few thoughts from us, if you will. The San Francisco 49ers, in my estimation, come into this game maybe playing the best football the NFL has seen in its 75-year history. They are 13-3 in the regular season. They went to the playoffs with wins over Chicago and the two-time Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys. And again, in my estimation, if they play as they have throughout most of this season, they will win the 5th Super Bowl for the San Francisco 49ers franchise. They'll play tough on defense. They are trying to avoid the turnover, of course. And the key to it, perhaps, is the patience until one of their stars, and they have so many, will make the big play for them. San Diego cannot have the luxury of playing like they played all season. They must make the big plays. Their defense is going to have to attack instead of bend and not breaking. And on offense, Al, I think they're going to have to take the risk also, and that might mean a 4-down series. They've talked about it, and we might see them going for a lot of 4th down plays.
This team, Frank, is nothing if not resilient. On opening night this year, they fell behind to Denver by 18 and won the game. And then in the playoffs, they were behind by 15 to Miami and 10 last week to Pittsburgh and won those games. But they'd be ill-advised to fall behind tonight because the 49ers are a whole other story. San Francisco scored 505 points this season. You know they're going to score. And the conventional wisdom says, well, the Chargers have to tighten up defensively, keep the Niners off the field. Yeah, they have to do that, but the reality is San Diego also, to have a chance, is going to have to do a lot of things offensively. I think there are 2 keys. Number one, I think San Diego's offensive line, healthy again, and they weren't in the regular season matchup, will have to beat San Francisco's defensive line. And they need a big game and a complete game from Stan Humphries, who is streaky, who normally gets off to a very slow start and finishes strong in the second half. They need Humphries to be hot, and they need Humphries to be hot early. We talked to a lot of the Charger players this week. The prevailing attitude is very simple. Nobody expects anything. We have nothing to lose. I think this team's going to open it up tonight against the San Francisco 49ers, Dan. At this point, clearly one of the best teams in the history of the National Football League.
I don't know how you could really judge them any other way, Al. Of course, that's what happens when you score more than, 209 points more than their opponents during the regular season. This San Francisco 49er squad has an unusual attitude about it. It's interesting talking to Steve Young. He refers to their opponent as the nameless, faceless opponent. In other words, the San Francisco 49ers are so good, they're really not playing anyone in particular. They're really playing themselves. Their attitude is, if we don't make mistakes, if we don't give it away, we cannot lose the ball game. And I think that's an attitude that's really born out of winning and winning often. But keep one thing in mind. It's been 5 years since the 49ers played in a Super Bowl, and only a half a dozen of their starters returned from that last Super Bowl. And with being such a big favorite, I think comes a lot of pressure. I think what we'll find out about the San Francisco 49ers tonight. Are they good enough to take their place in history, and are they good enough to keep the San Diego Chargers nameless and faceless?
And we'll return to Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami. The starting lineups when we come back.
A week of scout camp. How hard could it be? Yeah.
Back at Joe Robbie Stadium, dusk in South Florida, ready for the player intros, and the public address announcer is Paul Olden.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Super Bowl 29. Let's meet the American Football Conference champion San Diego Chargers.
Let him go, Dick.
And now, here are the Chargers' defensive starters. At left end, from Tennessee, number 94, Chris Mims. At left tackle, from North Alabama, number 98, Sean Lee. At right tackle, from North Carolina, number 93, Reuben Davis. At right end, from Oklahoma State, number 91, Leslie O'Neal. At linebacker, from Virginia, number 92, David Griggs. At linebacker, from Iowa State, number 57, Dennis Gibson. At linebacker, from the University of Southern California, number 55, Junior Seau. At left cornerback, from Stanford, number 21, Darian Gordon. At right cornerback, from South Carolina State, number 28, Wayne Harper. At strong safety from Northern Arizona, number 29, Darren Carrington. At free safety from Texas, number 24, Stanley Richard. And head coach of the Chargers, Bobby Ross. And now, the National Football Conference champion, San Francisco 49ers. Let's meet the 49ers offensive starters. At split end from Delaware State, number 82, John Taylor. At left tackle from Auburn, number 74, Steve Wallace. At left guard from Hawaii, number 61, Jesse Sapolo. At center from Brigham Young, number 66, Bart Oates. At right guard from the University of Southern California, number 63, Derek Deese. At right tackle from North Carolina, number 79, Harris Barton. At tight end from Santa Clara, number 84, Brent Jones. At flanker from Mississippi Valley State, number 80, Jerry Rice. At running back from Notre Dame, number 32, Ricky Waters. At fullback from Florida State, number 40, William Floyd. At quarterback from Brigham Young, number 8, Steve Young. And the head coach of the 49ers, George Seifert.
The kickoff for Super Bowl 29 approaching on this 76-degree evening. Back with the national anthem for Miami in a moment.
We can't accept these demands.
This is outrageous.
We can stay out as long as we need to.
From Super Bowl 29.
Now to honor America,